Yay!
Yay! We're live
Hi,
to talk
everybody.
about superpowers.
Hi, everybody.
Superpowers. And we were just like, it's a very, we are all quite silent. So right before we started, we were like, this might just be like an energy talk. Yeah. So where to start? Yeah. So coffee talk. Maybe you have seen us before. We do this round and about every week. We are all ladies that work with Heather, create with Heather. And at one point, we were like having these vulnerable and fun conversations together, just having a chat. And then we were like, hey, what would it be like if we would also let you guys join in on that conversation and so we can be together? And today we're going to talk about superpowers.
And I
Yeah.
actually loved your idea, Birgit, when you said so many times we ourselves don't even recognize or realize what strengths and superpowers or capacities we have, and others see them so much more. So why not chat about what we are aware of the others here
Yes.
in the chat. So I thought that's awesome.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful way actually because we were talking with Edith, who might be joining us in a few secs. Sex or sex
Seconds.
or both.
After sex.
and
Is that
and
your
here she
superpower?
is. Here she is. Let's see her call.
Right on cue. Oh, I love
Yes,
it.
and
Yes,
Edith is here.
we
We were
just
talking
talking
about you.
Edith.
Without me.
Without you, with or without you. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, so Edith and I had this moment where this arose actually, where yeah, how to put it in words, like this thing of when you are being something that you can't see it, and I love that. Today I was talking to a friend about it, and it also made me aware of like what Dane says about you can't feel what you be,
Yes.
right? You're being it and you can't feel it, and yeah, I also like wonder with this capacity thing, like if you are an X-Men, um, then sometimes, yeah, we don't see it because we be it. Yeah.
And it's so normal for us. Like we think, or a lot. I mean, I just know myself. I think everybody else is the same as me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like but no, they're not. So,
And it's also only when somebody brings it under your awareness. It's like, no, you're actually different. Nobody is like you. Then you realize, oh wow, not everybody is like
yeah.
It's like, I mean, Ava, you like an Anna Maria. It's like hyper active, da 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 da. And I think me and Edith, I was observed, are like more the quiet ones. But we are all just so complementing each other within the business. And I mean, Burkett is just like everywhere, like singing, dancing, quiet, happy. It's like all over the show, And yeah, the same for Elena. It's like quiet, quiet, quiet. But then when we have meetings, it's like, boom, here's info, here's info, here's info, So, but as you say, it's like you think everybody is like you, and it's only once we start talking to each other that you realize, oh my goodness, but they are not like me. I am me. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, and for instance, with you, Edith, like we had this moment of, right, where you were like, yeah, I'm not sure if I have anything to say, and then I was like, yeah, but what if you have a lot to say but without words? And that is something like you can just vibrate everything that you're a being, that you are, that you have to say without saying a word.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was just actually wondering. Sorry, Edith, you go.
Energy is the first language.
Yes.
And I learned that from the X-Men class I did in August. Huh? Oh, now I get it. I don't have words. Not. I don't have always words for what what the energy there is at that moment.
And like, how many times have you been making yourself wrong for not having words?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not having an opinion.
Yeah. That's awesome example. Like, oh my God, let's make ourselves wrong for not having an opinion. Like, what capacity is it actually to be so without a point of view? Like,
That totally reminds me of my whole life, maybe.
Wow.
When I was young, like in the family, everyone was like, "So, what do you think about blah blah blah?" And I was like, I don't really care." And they were like, "Oh, wait, but no, you have to have your point of view or something, your conclusion. Tell me your conclusion." Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that on my walk today, I actually was thinking about creating a website with using no text at all, or just like hi, or contacts, and just using image like pictures.
So
So that's
cool.
me just, yeah, moving through my head while I was outside just to give it a go, because there is so much energy in the site itself and in the pictures and the graphics and photos and stuff. So why not give it a try and not always, yeah, feed people with so many words, but just have no words there at all, except the very necessary that you have to have, like legally have to have, or like an imprint and all this stuff. But just on the page itself, to just have photos or images speak. I'm curious and wonder what that would look like.
I like that. That's like my favorite kind of website. No, not many words because I can't read. Like if it's a lot to read, I'm like bored instantaneously. Just no way.
I love that you're saying this because as a child advocate and facilitator, one of the ways I work with kids, especially those who are X-Men and have those incredible superpowers, there's a book called The Gray Lady and the Strawberry Snatcher. And it is a book that has no words.
Wow.
And one of the ways when I first meet these new children is I say, hey, let's read this story together. Tell me what you know from this book. And every single child tells a different story, and not one of them is incorrect. And I love that idea, Eva. So let me know when it's online. I cannot wait to look at it and explore the energy of it. How fun.
Oh, awesome, Elena. Thank you.
Wow. And even this, like this.
Mhm.
And then not filling up that silence, but actually being with it and noticing where it becomes uncomfortable or not. But just that presence, that is.
What is your experience, ladies, of being in that uncomfortable moment where you're not the one uncomfortable, the others are? How do you approach that with them?
I mostly smile.
We're all like,
Smiling melts a lot. So I mostly just go and smile, and then they finally relax again because I'm doing something.
Yeah, and when people go so uncomfortable of the silence and they start talking and talking and talking, sometimes I'm like, shut up, like leave me alone. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm totally ignoring you. Like you can talk. I'm just gonna turn the volume down on you, and I'm gonna concentrate on whatever I'm doing. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Wow. That's an
Yeah, and
awesome
I also put my
capacity.
barriers down there. Like when I notice there, because when I sing and I improvise songs, there are a lot of these spaces where people get like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna say something? Is he gonna sing something? Like, why is he not doing anything? Like this energy. And then for me, um, putting my barriers down actually, and just being there, totally present with it. Yeah, that works for me. So I can really be aware of that it's not mine and just invite them and myself to be with it until the moment arises where the next moment arises. So not forcing something, but really following the energy there.
Mm.
So basically, we're telling now people that to have no words and to not tell anything, it's not a wrongness, it's actually a strongness and the capacity.
Yes, yes. So if you are watching this, like, what is it that you either think is so normal about you? like like Eva said, like, yeah, but everyone does that, or everyone has that ease with it. Or you think is so wrong about you. Wow. Yeah. Let me see the chat if we have ladies joining us. We do.
We have
Yeah.
Viti. I'm not sure if I'm telling the name right. I'm sorry if I'm spelling it wrong, but we have a heart.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm wondering, ladies, like, what is the thing that you used to judge yourselves like a lot, and then you discovered, like, with Access, with X-Men classes, that it's actually not something that's wrong. It's actually a capacity.
Can I go?
Yep.
Okay. I used to think I was so angry all the time. I really thought I was angry and frustrated. And after being in Access and taking the X-Men class, I realized that it was just my capacity to know that someone wasn't telling me the truth, or that I had more information than the person I was with. And my frustration was based on not being an allowance of where that person was at in that moment. So it gave me an opportunity to forgive myself and be honoring of myself. Like, okay, I know this, but they don't know this. And then let go of that. Like, I don't need to be angry about this, and just hold that space for them. Like, oh, maybe they'll catch up and maybe they don't. And that's back to that silence, that little bit of uncomfortableness.
Mm.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I popped something.
That's so cool, right? So if we do not acknowledge it as a capacity, we're like, what the fuck am I angry all the time? And I'm so wrong for being angry. Like, what's wrong with me? I hate people. I whatever. And then if we look at it, it turns out that we actually are so aware that we are sort of like a lie detector, but like we can
Lie
have it as a
detector.
capacity
Yeah.
if we acknowledge it as that.
I love that,
Wow.
Berkey, a lie detector. That's awesome. Yeah, I was always
Yeah.
pretty straightforward and said everything the way I thought it and didn't, oh, how do I say this? And is this correct or not correct? I was just like, like, here it is. And telling dirty jokes and inappropriate jokes and just being so on and so happy all the time. And I had it a lot of times happen that people told me, Eva, shut down, you can't be so loud right now, or you can say this, you can't do that now. you can be like that, you can't be like that. Wow, that I then just, cut so many pieces of me off. And a true capacity of me is to go into a room and know exactly what's appropriate, how to behave. So I can fit in a totally new setting within a second, within a split second, and appear exactly as the people who are there, no matter if it's probably, I don't know, a super rich people party in a pool house, or being a very poor person sitting on the street somewhere. So it really has a very broad variety. And I always thought, oh no, but I'm not present with me, because I go into the behavior, the worlds of all the other people to know how to copy and sort of be like this. And then made me wrong for not being present with myself. So it's been kind of a really, a really not so fun circle probably, but that's what I made myself hugely wrong for. Yeah.
Yeah. And in what ways do you now experience it as a capacity?
Oh, I mean, happiness is just fucking, and being so present to know exactly what's going on and all the other people around me. So that's a huge capacity. And for my bluntness or my straightforwardness, I just have to laugh about it now. If people, or I can have ease now if people can't have ease with it, and I say so much less than I did before. So because it's not required anymore. Yeah.
And this is also where the X-Men class is such a gift, right? Like we get to acknowledge all these places and spaces and places again where we have this capacity. It's so much more energetically than we can give words to. But it's, as you were talking, Eva, I just got that in another way, that you really get to explore that. Yeah.
Oh, Sue's just commenting, brilliant conversation, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, for me, it's like I'm super fast, like super fast, and imagine being super fast in this reality where everything is so slow, like so goddamn slow. Just taking a nap and it's not there, and and I really had a hard time, like to deal with people while they are being so slow. And I used to go so angry or frustrated, and I was like, please go on. Or during conversations, like having a conversation with someone, and I already have the whole conversation in my head, like telepathically, and that person is still at the first sentence. I'm like, no, I just kill me now. I'm not doing this. And now I have more ease, like just by acknowledging, hey, I am like super fast, and like a lot of people are so slow. And by just acknowledging this, I allow myself to be like my speed, and allow them to be at their speed, and know that okay, they're not gonna catch me. And if I have a conversation with someone, I don't have that thing anymore where I'm like, okay, so I have to listen to the whole conversation that I already know. No, I'm like, okay, thank you, bye. Done.
And I have to say thank you for that, because this is what the X-Wing class taught me. It's like, the difference between fast and slow people. So I immediately started observing how we communicate within the family. So then I would know, I would start a sentence and my husband or my son would already answer me And I'm like, but I didn't finish talk yet. Can you listen to my sentence, please? And the X-Men class made me aware of they already know what I'm ready to say. So that changed communication within the house as well. So I'm laughing because yesterday we were studying for Quentin's test that's coming up. So I was having the book in front of me and now I'm trying to quiz him. So I started reading the sentence and now I must leave out the words and he must fill in the blanks. And I started reading like the first 4 words and he's like, can you cut to the chase already? I know the answer. And I just started laughing. And then I read it purposefully, very slow, to irritate him because I am the teacher and you have to listen to me. So I was pulling his nerves because he's like, I already know the answer. I want to answer you. So that just, the X-Men conversation just brought so much awareness and more happiness and allowance within the family, because now you see where everybody functions from and how much everybody is aware of anything, and you just allow the fellow people in the house. It's like in the past where I would not agree or not, kind of like listen, I would like now go, okay, so let me give you a chance because what do you know? Let's go your way because what do you know? So it's just so nice to be able to have life and living like that, where you know that there's other capacities within the household.
And that is such a capacity of you as well, Leilani, like the curiosity and the curiosity of other people's knowing, and like and wonderment in that, and really like the childlike, what do you know? That's such a capacity.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Wow. Love that.
That just gave me goosebumps. At some point, I was like, I love that. What's it gonna take for every family to have, like, at least every X-Men family or something like that, to have these tools and have more ease? Like, oh my God, hey, this is not wrong. That you function.
Sure, Anna Maria. Something's happening there. I'm telling you, we were doing the first X-Men class, and I remember we just moved into the house, and it was like on the Sunday, and the following Friday was the first X-Men class that I did with Heather last year, August. And it's like I got the Wi-Fi sorted and everything was done, and now I got the family up. Everybody's in bed because it's our evening time. And the following morning when we woke up, my husband was like, so how was the class for you? I'm like, I've got to tell you everything. It is super amazing. You will not know, but we all are X-Men in this household. So awesome. Having to share information and not going into depths, but just telling him like where he's making himself wrong. And I'm like, do you know that you're actually aware? Can you just acknowledge yourself? So it's just like amazing how much it contributed to us. And I truly wish that for everybody.
Leilani, has your son gone to one of the X-Men classes or participated as well?
Not yet, but I must tell you. Okay. So after that specific class, my husband and my son was so sick. I then messaged Heather and I'm like, what's going on here? This is not on. It was first my husband and now the following day it was my son because it was a weekend class. And she's like, are you aware that they are in class with you, even though they're not sitting next to you? And she's like, they are seriously dissipating and releasing. So just let them be and run some body processes and whatever. And we all take one for the family. Awesome. So I would truly love him to do that as well. But they already knows so much. He just has to tap into our whole Heather Nichols business. He also said to me this afternoon, I think I want to work for Heather. So I said to him, yes, you just have to finish school first, please. You need to focus on your test now and don't worry about, creating classes on the website.
And also talking about tests, I just like after my first X-Men class, I just get more aware of how X-Men I was in school. Like when I wasn't um, trying to study for the test and stuff, I got like higher grades, and when I was studying harder, it just didn't work for me. And finally, I got how aware I was, and when I took the answers from teachers' heads, like, hey, what does this teacher want here to write? And yeah, it was so much easier. And yeah, that was so much ease for me, and I made myself so wrong because I was like going there before the test, and everyone was like worried, or did you study? I studied like the whole month or something, and blah blah blah. And I was like, I didn't even open the book. I put it near me and I took a nap, and that was all. And then I just passed like with good grades, and yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. I also had an 8-year-old kid in my access bars class. And when he came in, he was really like ADHD, but also stretched out and in the wrongness of himself. And we were talking about him being in school and his teacher being there and always requesting certain answers of him, and having to focus on one thing. And then if he didn't, he was like, "You're not paying attention." Like, so we had a chat about that as well. And just like a few of these tools changed so much for him. Like he walked out of class like straight up, like he grew inches taller. And it was like, oh my God, and I want to give bar sessions, and I'm gonna buy a bars table, and totally empowered. And also with like, because I played with the wizard that like what wizard are you? And he was like, oh, next time if I'm in class, I'm gonna be aware of where is actually the head of my teacher that is talking, and then I will know and he won't know, and Yeah, and also that part of taking the answer out of the head of the teacher. And it's so amazing how kids like, and not only kids, but they in a way like you don't even have to put it into words. As soon as you give them the information, they're like, I know this. I know this, what you are talking about. Not all kids, but I noticed it a lot with the kids that I am working with. And that's so awesome to see them get so empowered by their knowing in a way. Yeah.
What's it gonna take to have X-Men classes in school instead of math?
Yes, can we please ask for that?
yes.
Let's have that.
Wow.
And I remember when I was in school, I think in high school, and during the breaks, like there was music outside, and at some point, I'm not sure, but the music started during the hours, like not in the break, and it was like so much fun for me because I wasn't trying to focus on the boring thing that was there. I was like, oh, music, okay, now we're talking.
Oh, I love this.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I would say.
And just in case this made you all curious and go, oh, I would like to have more information on this. We're actually having, or Heather is having an X-Men class coming up on this weekend, so the 27th and the 28th of March. We start at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, as far as my head remembers. No?
Pacific time.
Pacific time. Thanks, Alani. Which is
Capacity.
Yeah.
Capacity.
later afternoon in Europe. And it's awesome. It's around 4 or 5 p.m. in Europe and goes till around midnight. So that's an awesome time for Europe too, I think. And the free Excel Foundation or a one-day X-Men class. So yeah, this conversation or information is truly such a gift. So yeah, in case you're interested, we're so happy if you come and join us. And please reach out if you would like to have more info on that.
Yeah, and also if you sometimes think but don't want to like tell anyone because it's a secret, if you sometimes think that the access tools don't actually work for you, you might consider taking an X-Men class.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Like you receive the I'm not sure how to put into words, but like the tools for X-Men's where you finally get to work with your awareness and your capacities and acknowledge them.
Yeah. So if you have like a difficulty with your awareness, even where you're like, ah, this is also where the X-Men class has been and is still, like every class, such a gift. Like to have tools, what to choose when you go into this freak out moment, or like, so yeah, it's also getting you into more of you, and but it's also like the difficulty and acknowledging the capacity of that. So if you're like highly aware a person, like, yeah, just that would be enough to go to an X-Men class, whether it be this one or another one, whatever one is light for you to join. Yeah.
And this manual is also covering so many labels this reality likes to give very aware people. So there are so many labels or diseases or illnesses also covered in the manual and spoken about. So to me, this was also a huge, amazing information to just have this right at my hand and look at what capacity what capacity this a label actually is. So that's also super amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's also the part what we spoke about, right? And sometimes when you read it, you're like, oh, that's a capacity? What? Like with the control, like I can be a totally fucking control freak. And there was always like a difficulty, like, bleh, bleh. And then when I read the manual and we were talking about like the capacity of that, I was like, really? And in a way, yes, I know this, but really? Tell me more.
That's like totally with everything, every capacities that we made wrong and discovered. Wait, what? It's not wrong. It's a capacity. What are you talking about there? I judged myself the whole life with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder what capacities can you discover in this class that you made yourself so wrong your whole life and it's not wrong.
Yeah. And what superpowers can you get to acknowledge about you that you now believe are normal, but are actually a superpower? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
And we
for
see you
watching.
later.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.